Hey guys, I'm back with another IP recap for the Chicago Cubs, and this is going to be a little bit of a different video because as most of you probably saw, I did a previous recap on the Chicago Cubs Chicago White Sox series, which turned out to be a complete success. But this is going to be a little different because I'm going to be doing a recap throughout the entire year out of all the cards that I did. Now, I did get a lot of autographs on baseballs as well, but I prefer to show off the cards because, first of all, that's just I prefer collecting them, and at the same time, there's just more appeal to them. You know, you get to see the players' faces, and there's just more. I guess you could say there's more flavor to it. So, without further ado, let's get into that. I went to a total of 9 games. The first player that I ended up getting, it turns out he's an ex-Cub. But it was actually his first day back in Chicago. I saw him talking to a couple of fans, and this was during BP of the first game in another field. I didn't really expect him to really sign, even though he was talking to the fans. But then after BP was over, he came by and signed for a little while. So I basically got him on 2 of 3. And I was kind of lucky, too, because he was kind of going back and forth and signing, so I was really fortunate. I didn't really want to risk throwing a third card out there because I don't really rack the players like most people do, so I don't really want to be too greedy and just let him sign for the other people. So, but this was amazing to start off getting Rondon. And this was at the Astros White Sox series, which I went to all 3 games. He didn't really sign any other day except the first day because it was his first day back. But 2 out of 3 from Hector Rondon's really cool, as a matter of fact. And hold on, my camera kind of what the heck's going on with my camera? Okay, never mind. Just as long as you guys could see the card. That's really what matters at this point. So that was it for the first game. Matter of fact, it was pretty cool. And then the next game, I ended up going to a Cubs Rockies game. And then after the game ended, this guy comes over and signs like almost all the time. He's so awesome. You can't really miss him if you have the chance to get down there after the game ends. I mean, there's always a mob scene, but you see him sign for at least a good few minutes, like 10, 15 minutes. He'll always say, hey, just a few more, but then he'll just keep on signing, which makes him really awesome. Ben Zobrist. This is actually one of the best cards that I pulled out. It kind of stinks that he signed with a black Sharpie, and he was just running with one of those, even though I gave him a blue Sharpie. So, but overall, it was really awesome to get him on that. So, that was the first time I ever got him too. And then the next game was actually a really good treat because this was actually the long road trip before the long road trip that I went on with my friend out to California. So it turns out that that the day before we left for San Francisco and even San Diego for that matter, since it was one entire trip, I took my friend to the last home game. It turns out it was a travel day game. And I waited by the Cubs side, and I had more success than I thought I would. I mean, even though it really wasn't very many autographs, I was really happy with the way things had turned out, and you'll know why in just a second. The first person that I got to sign, I was really stoked because he could be very, very selective. Even though I know he signs a lot, he tends to sign for like the kids first, and then the adults, and then the adults, and then the kids. It's really up for grabs because you never know where he's going to sign and when, even though he signs a lot. But I was just in the right place at the right time to be able to get him. And here it is, Chris Bryant. Turns out that he was signing for a bunch of kids. He kind of skipped over me for the first time, but then he signed. He graphed for a guy who's always there, and then he took my rookie card and signed it. It was a Topps Chrome. Once again, I was really surprised by that. I was happy, and it was absolutely amazing. And it was travel day. Plus, he was injured, so he just signed. After more people came walking out of the tent, which is where I was at the time, this guy came out and he seemed like he was a really chill dude at the time. He probably is in general, but he just came out and signed for a bunch of people, and I was one of them. And turns out that he signed the day before, Kyle Schwarber. I actually wanted to try to get a picture with him, but I didn't really want him to not sign for other people just because I wanted a picture with him. So that was pretty nice. And then the same day during the travel day game, I had tickets down the Cubs line where you could get the pictures to sign. So first guy who came over, in fact, he was the only guy that signed, but a couple of others signed who I didn't get, but this guy got Steve Cishek. He's 1 per. I got him on 1 of 1 anyway. I didn't have any other cards of him, but he was also chill. I was really happy to get him on that, and that was it for the travel day game. The first day in San Francisco, I didn't really get too many people. In fact, I only got one person, but I was kind of fortunate because I tried to get him. He got dropped off and he walked in the stadium. He wouldn't even acknowledge me when I was there because I was holding on my card in Sharpie. He just wouldn't touch it. But he did have a bullpen session, which he took the time to sign for basically only 2 people, and I was one of them since I was right in front of him. Turns out that he's kind of tough, Jose Quintana, and he's definitely 1 per. I wanted to try to get him a second time, but it's only because I had 2 cards on me at the time. So, but I was really happy about getting Quintana. First time I ever got him. That's it for day 1. For day 2 in San Francisco, no one signed pregame. I didn't really get anybody, but I did end up waiting after the game. There's like a little railing and a gate where a lot of the players come out, and this guy came out and signed for everyone because he had a good game, and I was kind of in the front of the line. He was in a really good mood. I kind of didn't expect it, but Wilson Contreras came out and signed for everybody. I tried to get him a second time, and then he kind of says to me again because he knew he signed for me. But the reason why I tried to get him again was because I thought that my card had smudged a little bit, so I was kind of disappointed with that. But it turns out it was just part of the darkness and the lighting. But and he also ran with a black Sharpie, but I didn't really care because it was the first time that I ever got him. I was really happy. And then basically after the team bus left to go back to the hotel, a couple of other guys came out. I saw Pedro Strop walking out. He wouldn't even acknowledge anyone. But then this guy popped out right afterwards. I was able to get him. Jason Hayward. He's kind of hit or miss, but I was really fortunate to get him. It's the first time I ever got him. In fact, a lot of these autographs that I got were for the first time ever in my entire life. A couple of the other players I've gotten before, but anyways, that's a whole nother story. So that's it for day 2, and then day 3, kind of waited outside, and the team bus showed up for quite a while, and I saw most of the players on the bus, but I knew that that couldn't have been all of them, so I just waited for a little while, and then I saw a player walk right past us. Tyler Chatwood signed. He's 1 per. I got him on 1 of 1 anyway. That's the only card that I had, but he's super nice. In fact, just saw him walking in and just he called us over. And then I wasn't really looking at where the players were walking in, but my buddy was able to spot a player that just walked right by. I didn't expect him to sign, but he did. Justin Wilson. It was the first time I ever got him. That was the only card that I had at the time. Kind of nice, as a matter of fact, and because I've been denied so many times by him, but not this time. So that's really it for San Francisco. I got quite a few other autographs, but but not on the individual cards. I'm here to show off the cards. And that's it for San Francisco. San Diego for day one. There weren't that many people that got dropped off or that were walking in the stadium. I did see Victor Caratini and Javier Baez walking in, but none of them would stop. But about an hour afterwards, my buddy spotted Brandon Morrow walking in, and I was able to get him on 2 of 2. He's super awesome, and he had an amazing game that day. So he really closed things out against the Padres. So that was really awesome. And then pregame, I was actually part of a pregame exclusive for San Diego, which was really amazing. This guy came over and signed for a good few minutes. Even though I was right by the dugout, I rushed to the third base side to get him, and I did. Ben Zobrist again. This was really awesome because I never expected him to come down and sign. There's just a whole bunch of netting, which makes it virtually impossible to get autographs, but I did. So that was really awesome. That's it for game one. Game two, as a matter of fact, went outside, waited, and then there's actually this one grapher who knew exactly where certain players were at certain times, and then this SUV came up. Albert Almora came out, and I was in the right place at the right time because the grapher started moving. I moved. I got him on 1 of 3, as a matter of fact. I probably might have had a chance to get him on 1 more, but at the same time, he was in a hurry. He really didn't seem like he wanted to sign, but he did. It was really awesome. I wanted him for the first time. A couple of other players came in walking in, and they wouldn't even bother looking at you. I saw Montgomery. I got a picture with Brandon Morrow and Justin Wilson. But John Lester came walking in, missed him, but that's okay. I mean, I might get him later on in the future, so we'll just have to wait and see. Inside during BP, Rob Zastryzny came over and signed. Got him on his Heritage rookie card. So nothing too special, but he was nice enough to sign. Then after the game, got Ben Zobrist again. So it was really cool. I got him 4 times total this year. And then the very final autograph that I got, this was the first time that I ever got this guy who I never expected to sign, period. But the way this happened was I was able to spot an SUV that was going up to the railing, and no one really came out, but this guy started walking out towards that railing, and then he stopped to sign, which I never really expected him to. I was kind of expecting him to say no, he had to get inside, but I mean, he's strictly 1 per. Tommy La Stella. That's basically it for the Cubs year recap. I really hope you enjoyed this. Sorry if this video wasn't as informative as I wanted to be. This is kind of a rush video because I actually have some things to do. But I just thought I'd show you guys all the cards. In fact, there will be many more recaps of this in the future. And if you're wondering about my Cubs Sox recap, go ahead and watch that video if you want to know who I got. And trust me, some of the autographs that I got then are really interesting, including these ones. So take care of yourselves and have a great rest of your night.